Hello, good day to you all. We are here to talk about the carriage of goods by sea and the attendant logistics. 80% of global trade by volume and over 70% by value is carried by sea. There are almost 1 lakh commercial vessels of various types in the world. The global maritime industry is very much affected and influenced by the state of the world, be it the US-China trade war, the uncertainty over Brexit, the conflicts in the North African region, the tensions over Ukraine, and now of course the all-pervasive pandemic which has convulsed and devastated the entire planet like nothing before. Disruption in global trade due to the pandemic has resulted in shipping revenues across the board declining in the initial stages. However, as the pandemic wore on into 2021, rising inflation and the ongoing supply chain crisis which started due to the pandemic have resulted in the current unprecedented soaring freight rates. Container shipping lines have thus reaped a rich harvest and logged an all-time high profit of US dollars 190 billion in 2021. The estimated earnings before interest and taxes in 2022 is estimated at USD 200 billion, even more. It's a windfall for the shipping lines which will continue as long as the congestion lasts. But this is not a healthy picture for global trade and inflation. Like all industries, the shipping industry too has had to brace for change by adjusting operations, finances, safety protocols, as well as modified working practices and procedures. The pandemic has strengthened the case for digitalization and eliminating paperwork in the shipping industry and ports. Innovations such as driverless trucks, automated warehouses, terminals, and even vessels and blockchain-enabled documentation has already arrived. The future is here. However, while these dynamic and sweeping changes are taking place, the basic activity will remain the same in that ships will have to be handled in the ports, cargo has to be imported and exported, moved inland across various modes, stored and distributed in warehouses, container freight stations, depots and logistic hubs. Stakeholders of cargo, vehicles and ships would continue to require marine insurance cover. Vessels would still be chartered, hired, scrapped, salvaged, and maritime laws, rules, regulation and statutes would continue to govern, albeit in modified and updated versions. The Government of India too is coming out with a national logistics policy which would create a single window e-logistics market with a focus on the generation of employment and skills. The government intends to reduce the logistics cost from the present 14% of GDP to less than 10% by 2022-23, in line with developed countries. The size of the Indian logistics sector is expected to grow from the current $160 billion to $215 billion in the next 2 years. The scope is thus vast. We have strung together a team of vastly experienced and seasoned professionals from the shipping industry who will be walking the talk with you and sharing our hands-on experience and knowledge. So come and join us in this journey. Thank you.